I think I win this fight because like now my Pyke is just too strong, like it's a 3-star Pyke. That's 977 true damage. True damage. Like this is just insane. And yeah, I can't lose. 1000. Like this Pyke is just like crazy. I would say it's more like a Pyke carry than LeBlanc carry. 4 admin with hacker LeBlanc. Pretty much everyone knows how to play it and pretty much everyone is forcing it. But what if I told you that in China they have a much stronger version of LeBlanc that doesn't use admin at all and that doesn't use Shen as well, but it still activates hacker without an emblem. So I ask you with this question before I give you the answer. Can you guess how you can activate 3 hacker without Shen and without using an emblem or a +1 from an augment? Alright, you have guessed it, China uses Riftwalker to activate 3 hackers without using Shen, but that's not the only thing that they are using in order to over-optimize LeBlanc to make it much stronger than the LeBlanc with 4 admins. Alright, I know that a lot of you guys just want to see the final comps, this is why I'm showing it to you right now, but I'm pretty confident that this is not enough for you to understand the comp and execute it on a regular basis so you can climb fast with this new comp. So just to give you a general idea of how it works, you want to play Super with Riftwalker. Basically, these are the 2 synergies. You don't play admin, but you still activate hacker by putting Zac next to Pyke, of course. And then, of course, you have LeBlanc on who you're going to put on hypercarry. And after, you also want to have Pyke as your secondary carry by making sure that he can get 3 stars. Just for information, the hacker emblem is definitely not mandatory. I put it there because otherwise I couldn't show the hacker to use. So honestly, don't try to chase the hacker emblem. It's not mandatory at all. It's good to have, but not mandatory. What I truly like about this comp is that LeBlanc is doing maybe 60% of the work, while if you play LeBlanc with 4 admin, LeBlanc is dealing 90% of the work. It means that you are less dependent on your LeBlanc, whether you hit it or not, and also whether she jumps on the right side or not. What I also like about this comp, it transforms Pyke into a true hyper carry. If you put items like Infinity Edge, Ionic Spark, and something with Protector's Vow, for instance, to have starting mana, he can stun 3 times per fight and deal insane amount of true damage because thanks to the super that can go up to 30% of more damage for your whole team. And in order to show you how to execute this comp from early game to late game, I'm going to comment one of my ranked game where I tried this comp and show you some mistake I did, but also some good advice I found out by playing this comp. So let's check it right away. So for the early game, I had hope I could get Pyke augment, but actually I got this augment. I think the admin heart is the best augment for this comp because it's a silver augment that can give a lot of power to LeBlanc. And here by checking the admins, I see that I hesitated between 2 admins. As you can see, either 40 AP on admins, so that will be useful for LeBlanc, or I had the 5 seconds, 20 mana for the whole team, and I actually picked this one because in this LeBlanc with Super and Riftwalker, we have to consider that everyone is a carry because Super can enhance the damage of everyone. So that's why I wanted to have something more global rather than just giving 40 AP to LeBlanc. And for the early game, I wanted first to open fort in order to play only Super and try to snowball my icon, but I realized that I actually got a okay comp, meaning that I could play 3 renegades and admin plus Lucian, so I thought that this was okay. So the early game, usually you want to have a win streak or a loss streak, but here I have a team that's either too strong or not strong enough in order to have one of these 2. So instead I try to, play a bit strong board and actually try to win fights. About the items, here is the thing I hesitated a lot. I started to build items for LeBlanc, but I actually think that starting building items for Pyke could be the great way to build items. You don't want defensive items anyway because you just want to burst people. So here I finished stage 2 level 4 with not a lot of gold because I had a lot of units on my bench. So here what I'm trying to do is to remove all the useless units I'm not going to play again. I still had to keep that Lux because if I don't, I will lose against Krugs and that would be a catastrophe. So here I was extremely lucky because I got LeBlanc in one of the, not the shop, the Krug's orbs, and that actually saves a lot of problems. I push level 5 because I absolutely want to enter Hacker and Admin in order to have a chance to get hero augment that I want. So either Pyke or LeBlanc. Of course, these are the two best augments, hero augments that you want. The only problem I had is like I had a lot of components, but all the items I could make right now were kind of trash. And I hate having 4 components on the bench. Usually I like to play with like 3 maximum. But here, like, I had literally no option. I want to keep that gloves to make potentially IE for Pyke or Jewel Gauntlet for LeBlanc. I wanted to keep that belt for whatever thing. Actually, belt is not that great. I wanted to keep that cloak to make potentially Ionic Spark. And I wanted to keep that armor to make... how is it called? Knife's Edge. No, not Knife's Edge. Edge of the Night. Is that it? Edge of the Night, I think. And here are the augments. So here I got, thanks to the units I put just before, I have only excellent choices. And it's not high roll if I got the 2 best augments in my choices because I just have the best team for that. And honestly, I hesitated, and I think that aim assist in this position is a bait. I prefer to have your cut from Pyke, because it can give me so many free shop. And you saw the team comp, right? You need a lot of 3-star units. So having a lot of free shops is actually best because it can make you scale harder. Even though aim assist allows you to have more damage, your cut allows me to have more chance to find the 3-star units in a very contested lobby because we were 3 players playing LeBlanc, me included. And of course, they were also playing Pyke. So I decided to give it a try because the Chinese comp says that Pyke is much better than LeBlanc, so I gave it a try, and here it is. So this is the board you want to have at level 6. You want to have your 3 super, and you want to have 3 hacker with Shen. You have to play Shen temporarily because you don't have the space to have Riftwalker plus super, but also because Jhin is very hard to find at level 6, while Shen is definitely someone you can find easily at level 6. I decided to roll until 20 gold because I had a lot of 1-star units. Fortunately, I found Malphite too, but I still have 3 pairs. But the problem is that if I roll more, I might find those pairs, but the problem is I would just potentially lose my whole econ and I would never be able to come back. So that's why I stopped at 20 gold. And this is something that you have to do as well if you want to play this comp at level 6 at stage 3-2. You need to roll until 20 gold to make sure that you can stabilize your board, especially if at stage 2 you lost a lot of health thanks to potential loss streak strategy, right? But you can't lose again your health if you already lost a lot of health before, because if that's the case, you lose the game and you can't even survive stage 4. Unfortunately here, I faced another LeBlanc player who has LeBlanc 2, and because of that, I just can't win, especially that my LeBlanc is not jumping on the right side. And yeah, so unfortunately I couldn't keep a win streak to kind of accelerate my econ, and yeah, I will be stuck at level 6 and 7 for a very long time because of that. Alright, I'm finally back at above 50 gold, and now what I want to do is slow roll every turn to find Malphite 3, Lee Sin 3 and Pyke 3. And after I find most of them, I can push level 7 and start to play with Riftwalker. I also decided to roll down a bit more because I really need to find LeBlanc 2 if I want to have a chance to survive this stage. This is very important. If you don't have this, then you have almost no chance. And then I started to stuff my Pyke because I definitely need to use my items. I decided to do IE, which is an excellent item for Pyke. And I also decided to give Chalice because that gives a lot of starting mana, and that also helps LeBlanc to have more damage at the beginning of the fight. And just look at that, like 434 true damage with Pyke. This is just insane. And I think he will cast his ability like 3 times this round. Like this is the 3rd time maybe. And because of that, I will have 2 free shop. And something I started to notice is like the second you stuff your Pyke and he has a lot of starting mana. Pyke is my first damage dealer here, by the way. He can cast his ability many times per fight. About the augments, I really wanted to have a lot of items because, yeah, you see I have 2 shops, 2 free shops. I really want to have more items because I want to stuff my Pyke, I want to stuff my LeBlanc, and I just don't have enough good items. So here I had good components, but I was a bit hesitating because Pyke, what's its strength but also its weakness is that he can get a lot of different items and he's still going to be useful. But if you want to make him a true hyper carry, then you need to be very specific with your items. So here I wasn't sure. I wanted to make static to have some MR shred, but at the same time I don't want to have static on the melee units. I don't want to give static to Pyke. I want to, instead for Pyke, I would like to have something like Titan's Resolve, and that's what I decided to do. But again, because of that, I'm not sure of what to do with my items, and that's a mistake from me. Something I should have done much earlier is to build a Zephyr and use it from mid-game stage 3 so I could potentially win more fights or save more HP or deal more damage. But anyway, this is my comp. This is another LeBlanc player, and this LeBlanc player is beating me because right now he's level 7. He used all his gold and he has a LeBlanc carry augment, so he has much more damage than I do right now. But that will obviously change in the future. Here I decide to roll down a bit more because I'm really close to have Malphite 3 and I think that's a good power spike. So I wanted to have this. Notice also I am at 57 HP. I'm kind of high in the lobby, so it means that I can be more comfortable sitting at level 6 and not rushing the level 7 with no gold and no opportunity to find Jhin and Vex and so on. Look at this spike at the end of the fight. The true damage thanks to the fact that we are at the end of the fight. 1245 true damage. This is insane build. Pyke loves this kind of build. In the end, I decided to build a blue buff on LeBlanc. I think this is not optimal because my admin already gives mana, and also because like I would think I would prefer to have more damage. But anyway, this is what I found. I couldn't find anything better, so it's still better than nothing. I hesitated a lot to buy this Shen because I know that Shen I will sell it later. Alright, this is stage 5. I know that I'm very contested on Pyke and LeBlanc, and I found Malphite 3 and Lee Sin 3. So I think that it's better to push level 7 and try to add the Rift Walker now, because if I don't, I will probably lose all my fights and ended up as a bottom. I decided to add another Pyke because anyway, Pyke is such a good unit that I'm actually much stronger with 2 Pykes. And you will see this fight, I added also the static on the other Pyke. Thinking that this guy can use the static and have starting mana and have double stun on Sona, and like this is just insane. Like the work of Pyke is just incredible, and I will win this fight thanks to them. Just look at all the damage. What I like to see also is that Lee Sin, Malphite and JP are still doing a good amount of damage thanks to super, and this is why this comp is so reliable. Because it's not just LeBlanc. If your LeBlanc gets stunned, if your LeBlanc trolled, you still have a team behind that can still carry your fight. And this is what I truly like about this comp. Now I'm getting close, really close to Pyke 3. So that's why I decide to roll until I find Pyke 3, even if I have to go to 0 gold. I found Pyke 3, make sure that I remove the static by benching my other Pyke. And right now I'm looking for Jhin. I'm looking for Jhin so I can remove Shen and add the Rift Walker. So anyway, it's almost the fight, so I have to take that Pyke. I added Vex, I'll put the static on Vex. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to position my Vex correctly, but she's still going to do the job by shredding the MR for a lot of units, so my LeBlanc can still deal a good amount of damage. And I think I win this fight because like now, my Pyke is just too strong, like it's a 3-star Pyke, and that's 977 true damage. True damage. Like this is just insane. And yeah, I can't lose. 1000. Like this Pyke is just like crazy. I would say it's more like a Pyke carry than LeBlanc carry, because Pyke is going to carry your mid game until you find LeBlanc 3, because obviously most of the time you'll be contested just like I was on LeBlanc, but your comp is much stronger than the other LeBlanc, so you can wait for them to die, and then after you can find LeBlanc 3. Alright, now there's a Jhin in my shop, so I have to lock it, and I'm going to add the Rift Walker next turn, so I'm going to sell the Shen, and add the Jin and make the Zac next to the Pyke. So here, because of the chalice, I had to do some kind of gymnastic with positioning. So that was a bad thing about having a chalice on Pyke. It doesn't give me a lot of flexibility on positioning. But now that a lot of players died, I find my LeBlanc. And this is why this comp is actually stronger with than LeBlanc with 4 admins, is that you can stabilize much harder than LeBlanc with 4 admins, thanks to Super, thanks to Riftwalker. And once you stabilize, you can beat pretty much everything. You can wait for the other LeBlanc players to die, and then after you can try to get the 3-star LeBlanc with, of course, the 3-star Vex, 3-star everything, because you have Super, so the more 3-star, the more damage you have. Right now I have a 30% damage amplification, and I can still go up to 33% by finding Vex. Unfortunately, Zac 3 doesn't give 3% on Super. I think it would be too broken anyway. But anyway, Zac 3 is still an excellent frontline and an excellent side carry because it deals a good amount of damage. Don't underestimate Zac. So this is an example, like I put the Zephyr on Kai'Sa because my LeBlanc was on the left side. So anyway, LeBlanc was not going to target Kai'Sa. So I'm just trying to make Kai'Sa lose time. But here, like get stunned by Pyke, bye-bye. No chance to win. LeBlanc, Pyke, Malphite, 3rd carries, Vex, 4th carry. Like, I just have a team with so much damage on everyone. Like, it's okay if my LeBlanc doesn't one-shot the carry, because anyway, I have other carries. And that's what I love about this comp. And I think this comp is going to be hard nerf next patch, because after this video, probably everyone is going to abuse it, and you have the rights to do so. So here, finally, I have my comp with all the Super, and I have my Zac 3. I was just checking, Zac 3 doesn't give one more stack of Super, so I was a bit disappointed with that, but it's fine. Anyway, this is the other comp, LeBlanc with 4 admin, but this guy didn't decide to play with Harker. Instead, he decided to just push level 9, and he was attempting to make Fiddlestick 3. Fortunately for me, didn't find. So anyway, I'm happy. I just Zephyr'd the dummy, so the team will go further and have more space for my LeBlanc. And my Vex I position here on the corner, so she can deal a lot of damage, like you can see here. Vex is 2nd of damage, then Pyke, then just look at this. Like, this comp is just too strong. Unfortunately for this guy, the last item I found was Shroud. I mean, Shroud here. And I picked it immediately because, of course, this guy has to be packed because of Janna. And because this guy is packed, I just have to put a Shroud and I win immediately. A small trick doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily important, but if you have things like Zephyr and Shroud, you can decide to put on one unit and put it on your bench so people can't see it easily that you have a Shroud. Like, just like I put on Sona. So if he scouts my board, he will not see instantly that I have a Shroud. And then obviously, I know he will not position differently because like there are just so many units to move. So I'm ready to put the Shroud on Lee Sin, and I will like easily win this fight because like I just have too much damage and I prevent them from playing with the Shroud and the Zephyr. So I have better access. You see, like thanks to the Zephyr, my LeBlanc attacked directly one unit before the dummy. And then after it's Vex that has an excellent angle to apply the Morello on everyone, plus the static, plus the gunblade. Like, it's just too much and I win this fight. So this comp was shared in Tactor's Discord. It was someone who has insights about the Chinese meta and the Chinese S-tier comps there. We talked about it, we discussed, and we kind of theory crafted in order to build that late game comp. And also, Tactor is the sponsor of my channel. Tactor is a Discord server where talented players like Enzox create free TFT guides for you, like this Quick Draw Lucian. It's also a place where a growing community likes to hang out and talk about their favorite strategies on games like TFT, League of Legends, Marvel Snap, and Clash Royale. Soon, Tactor will launch a website where knowledgeable players like you can create guides and monetize your gaming skills. To join the Discord and get access to all these guides for free, just click on the link on the description. So thank you Tactor for sponsoring my channel. And yesterday I just released a video where I discussed with the rank 1 Europe West to talk about the Infinity team and some common mistakes a lot of players are doing. So if you want to learn and have a better mastery of this comp, you want to check this video right now because it will teach you 3 mistakes that you should avoid if you want to climb with infinity. See you at the top of the ladder.